Good Wednesday evening, high school sports fans. Joe Gillaway with Lingelstown Gazette Sports live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is episode number 40 of our weekly podcast, Gazette Sports Chat, where we'll get to know participants from various realms of the high school sports world. The student athletes who play the games, the coaches who coach them, and others connected in different ways to the entire experience. We'll introduce you to tonight's guest in just a moment, as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show, our Lingelstown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors. And they are Rickabaz Electric, Payor Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial, Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprints, Sam Hartley Decking, that's Coach Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Iron Valley Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks to these great local businesses for their continued support of Lingelstown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. Upcoming on Lingelstown Gazette Sports offerings, they're not all Gazette Sports Chat, but we are going to be covering broadcasting the Central Dauphin hosting Wilson softball game this Saturday morning at 11. You're going to meet two of the participants in that game on the Central Dauphin side tonight during our show. And then we're going to do a show on Monday, and we're going to cover kind of a hodgepodge of issues. One of them is going to be the situation with Trinity girls basketball coach Christy Britton losing her job. And she's a friend of ours, a friend of the show, a friend of mine, and a friend of a lot of people's in the area. So a lot of people are very deeply saddened about that and, angry and however else they feel because we think she's one of the best. And so we're going to talk about that situation, talk about the shot clock situation for basketball. Should there be a shot clock? Should there not? And then one more thing, the way that District 6 and District 3 kind of merge or don't merge. They merge during the regular season, but not during the postseason. And we have State College girls lacrosse coach Tara Hohenschelt joining us to talk about that. So let's get to it. Tonight's Gazette Sports Chat guests are four of the state's elite high school softball players who represent two of the state's top high school softball programs. Their team squared up this past Monday night in a meeting of state-ranked undefeateds, with one leaving as, at least for now, the top team in the ultra-competitive Mid-Penn Commonwealth division. We'll discuss that game, their relationships with one another on and off the softball diamond, and a whole lot more. It's my pleasure to welcome Cumberland Valley's Sydney May and Annika Shearer, and Central Dauphin's Kayla Fletcher and Stella Gasper. Ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This is big time. I've been doing this for a pretty long time, and very rarely do I assemble a group of student athletes the quality of you four. And I mean that. I mean that in all sincerity. I mean, you guys are just, like I said, four of the best athletes of the state in your sport, and all committed to Division I colleges. So this is exciting for me. So let's start where we should start, and that's with Sydney May. Okay, because Sydney's had a good week. Let's to put it mildly. And I mentioned that your teams played Monday night, and okay, it's a regular season game. It's the first regular season game. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, but it kind of had the atmosphere of a postseason game. Sydney, did it feel that way with all those fans there and the media?
Yeah, I think it definitely did. And just even having it under the lights, I think a lot of the adrenaline was there. And even like playing Kayla and Stella, it was just a really fun game.
Yeah, we broadcasted at Lingelstown Gazette Sports. There were 2,400 views. That's a lot. I mean, that's a colossal number to watch a high school softball game. Now, they don't all watch at the same time. Some might have watched later the next day, but 2,400, that means people care about high school softball, and they care about your teams in particular, for sure. So anyway, let's let the viewers get an idea of what else was going on there. The place was packed with fans. You're playing your biggest rival. I would call it your biggest rival. It's up to you to decide, but I think so, just from covering sports. And you needed just a handful of strikeouts to break your school record, right? Yeah. But you guys were down. You guys were down 3-1 going, heading into the last portion of the game. And then, before you scored the runs, though, let's back up a little bit. You needed one more strikeout, right?
Yep.
You didn't know it though, right? Did you know where
No,
you were?
I like miscounted. Like I was
Okay.
counting in my head, but then I miscounted, so it like surprised me.
Okay. So up steps your friend Stella Gasper, right? Stella, I'm going to get to you because what you did when the at bat was over was just I'll never forget it. So do you know Stella's tendencies? Do you know what she likes to hit? What she struggles with a little bit, Sydney?
Yeah, I tried to just stay high and away and out pretty much the whole time. That was pretty much it.
That's a hard pitch to hit. That's a hard pitch to hit. Anyway, for anybody. So you get her out, you strike her out. They stop the game. They give you the ball. I mean, that's a big deal. In the sport of softball, strikeouts are a big deal. Every sport has their own kind of, those records that are more important than the rest. But I think strikeouts are very important. And then what does Stella do? She bows, right? Did you see that, Cindy?
Yeah,
She
I
gave you
pointed,
just like
I pointed to her because I realized I did it with Stella, and I pointed to her.
And she gave you like a little half bow, like you're welcome. So congratulations, Cindy. Great night for you. And let me mention, you were 2 for 3 offensively. You had a single and a really long double in the gap. So that was your night. And that's with all respect to Annika here. I mean, great player too. We'll get to her, but that was kind of Sydney May's night, and congratulations for a great evening.
Thank you.
Stella, you were in the circle against Sydney and her team.
Mm-hmm.
You give up just 2 earned runs, okay, against a top 5 team in the state. Let's face it, they got a really good offensive team. You guys kind of kicked the ball around a little bit. The floodgates opened on a couple errors, and that's what happens. I'm not taking anything away from the CV team, but you kind of did your job in the circle, and but with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, let's go back to that. Talk about. I want you to start with talking about striking out against your friend, and we're going to get to more positive things, but I love that, and I love the mechanics of all your relationship. Did you know that it might have been you when you stepped in there?
I didn't, because again, I didn't know. Like, I initially needed a couple because we were like texting about it, but I didn't know like how many she was at like throughout the game. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna try to hit the ball. I knew she was going to throw me.
Put the bat on the ball. Right.
Sydney only throws me outside, so I knew that's what was coming. So I was honestly just trying to foul it off, and then she threw me this rise ball. It was a really good pitch, and I was like, I thought I had it, and then I just didn't.
What are you going to do? It's the Sydney Bay rise ball, right?
It's a good pitch.
Okay.
I tried my best.
Okay, let's shift gears. Okay, I had to get your portion of that story. I think I've watched you pitch for a few years now. I think you keep getting better and better. I mean,
Thanks.
Definitely Sydney's a phenomenal pitcher, but on any given night, when you guys are going up against one another, it could be your night, it could be her night. And you gave up 2 earned runs. What were your thoughts about the game as a whole on Monday night, Stella?
I think obviously we had like that one bad inning, but I think overall, like, we played good. We talked about it after the game, like, as a team. No one was really like super upset. Like, we just had one bad inning. We made a couple errors, and that was it. It's always like we always talk about that when we're playing Cumberland Valley. It's basically who's going to make errors in the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's who's going to lose the game. So it's just kind of like staying on top of everything. So, but yeah, no one was really mad at the end. We came back yesterday. We were ready to play, ready to go. I mean, obviously it ended up getting rained out, but we came back. Everyone's like spirits were good. So
I thought you looked great out there, Stella. I thought you did a very good job against a tough lineup. Let's move on to Annika Shearer. Okay, you reached base on an error to start your team's game-winning rally. Okay, it doesn't matter how you get on, right? You've played softball long enough. Walk, hit by pitch, error. You just got to get on, especially when your team's down 2 runs. Take us kind of. What was it like to be in the midst of that? There was so much energy and intensity, and you guys needed that so badly. You were down 3-1, and that put your runner on first with no outs. What did it feel like to be down there safely on first, knowing like we have a chance to get back in this game?
I mean, it felt great, obviously, knowing the lineup I have behind me as well. Like, all I wanted to do was get on base no matter how. So as soon as I hit that hard on the ground, I was like, I got to hustle it out. And I mean, it worked out in my favor, and it felt great knowing that I was setting my team up for a chance to score big there. So yeah.
Right. And then another error after that, and the kind of the
Mm-hmm.
floodgates open a little bit. When you score 5 runs in an inning against a team as good as CD, it doesn't happen often, but you just never know how it's going to happen. Is it going to be 5 or 6 hits? Is it going to be 2 errors? Is it going to be walks? And again, you'll take it any way you can get it. And that was just that place was going bonkers. I mean, that was so loud and under the lights. And okay, Kayla, District 3 title game 2 years ago. You lose to Cumberland Valley. Last year, you beat Cumberland Valley. We covered both of them, Linglstown Gazette Sports. And 2 years ago when they beat you, I think it was like 6-1 or 6. No, you guys might have scored some game runs at the end, but they kind of got you pretty good, The game's over, and you guys are out there embracing them and hugging them. And that was before I knew that you guys were all kind of buddies, And I said, maybe even on the air, I said, I don't know what's going on out there. I said, of course, I want to be clear. You guys wanted to win the game. I'm not trying to say that you prefer, but I said, they're happy for the players for Cumberland Valley. And then I came to find out, I think from your mom, Kayla, but what's it like playing in such, let's say, on such large stages against such a great team with so many friends on the team?
Yeah, it's great. Like I always know it's going to be competitive. And since we've known each other since we were 10, we've been playing together. We played together for 5 years. We know each other pretty well. So just being able to play with people that I really care about, it's really fun. And it just makes the game so much better.
Yeah, you look great too out there. You had a lot of hot shots hit at you, and really we're fielding your position well. The one you couldn't possibly get up and make the throw on, but what a play to your right in the hole. There was no chance. The strongest arm
stopped it.
Yeah, the strongest arm in the world's not getting there, but we gave you a lot of credit on the air for just making that play. Okay, so let's move back to Sydney. Let's talk about what's it take to get your, I don't know, 17 years old, probably 18 years old. What's it take to get?
It's her birthday.
Oh, is it? Okay, so you're probably 18, right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. What does it take? I don't know at what age you started. I can guarantee it wasn't 12 or 13, Let's go back, way back, rewind. What has it taken to get your game to the level it is today? I mean, at what age did you start? I know you just don't pick up your glove in March and put it down in June. And you're a great hitter too. I mean, you're one of those. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you're one of the best around. But you're an awesome pitcher, awesome hitter. What has it taken? From the first day you picked up a glove or a bat until today?
Yeah, I started when I was 6, so I think just going along and playing in rec ball and then playing on crunch and with all the girls and everything, I think it just really grew my love for the game. And then I started pitching more, and I think a lot of dedication and sacrifices came with it. And my recruiting season, I didn't stop pitching for almost over a year, so it was a lot on my arm, but I think it really paid off for where I'm going to be.
Right. And we'll get to where you're going to be, because I think it's an interesting, great school. I know it's a great school academically, but I think it's a cool choice also outside of that. Okay. Stella, you're very good on the offensive side too. I mean, very rarely do you find, especially on the same podcast, two great pitchers who are also really good hitters. I mean, you just had 3 home runs, I think 2 Fridays ago in one game. Is that the only way, when you're a pitcher, is that the only way to stay on the field at all times? Because they're going to bring another pitcher in every now and then, right?
Yeah, I've always kind of been told, if you're hitting, there's a spot for you in the lineup. Right. And I really just kind of emphasize that. I hit every single day. So,
do you? Okay.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, if you're hitting, my dad always says, I'm going to quote Nick Gasper quote here, guys.
Uh-oh.
Hitters who hit often.
Get your tape recorders out. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hitters who hit often, hit often.
Oh,
so he's always said that to me. So, I just hit every day, and it's obviously been paying off. So,
I mean, you can't argue with that. And that's true, though. Yeah. What he's saying is the more you work on it, the more likely it is it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you're kind of flexible in the field. First of all, you field your position fabulously. You know,
Thank
that's
you. Thank you.
another thing that we mentioned the other night. I think you caught that one ball, not with your glove. It kind of just went up against your body or hit
Oh,
your
yeah,
bare
yeah,
head.
yeah.
But so do you like playing third base too? Is that where you're going to play in college?
Yeah. I'm playing third base in college. Yeah.
You're going to wear a mask?
No.
Oh my, that's a hot spot down there in softball.
I trust. I've been playing there since I was like 6.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting a good third baseman, that's for sure. Okay, Annika. Monday night, the JV game.
Mm-hmm.
It had all the feel of a varsity game. I mean, it went down to the bottom of the 7th, and CD scored 2 to tie it up, and then Cumberland Valley wins the game, and in the bottom of the 7th. And where I'm going with this is talk about the Cumberland Valley youth program and the pipeline up to varsity. You have a huge school there. How competitive is it? I mean, the answer to that is it has to be very competitive. But talk about the pipeline and what you guys have coming in after you leave.
Yeah, I mean, we as a team, we practice with JV, so we're always with the freshmen, the sophomores, all the girls that are on JV. So like that really, like the team isn't just varsity, it's really all of the girls. We all have like a great bond. We all do team bonding together. So like for us, it's really like the connection of being with those girls. We were there at that JV game cheering the girls on, so it just makes it like it makes all the difference just having that like support group. And when they come up to varsity, it's not like a whole new experience because they've been there with us in practices. They
Right.
watch us play, all of that, and we do the same for them. So it just really funnels up to varsity that way.
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, I
Mhm.
typically I show up early because I have to get my equipment set up, or I just show up early even if I'm not covering the game. But I don't really pay the JV games a whole lot of attention. And as soon as I got there, I thought, "Oh my God, we're late. This is the varsity game." You know, before I was able to look out in the field, and just so much energy. Kayla, how about you? Same question. Is there any end in sight for the talent in the Central Dolphin program in your pipeline?
Honestly, I don't think there is. Like, as like similar to Cumberland Valley, like we have a really big school, and I feel like every year we keep getting new talent. Like we have 2 great freshmen who have been making like a great impact on our team already. So I think I don't think it's gonna stop.
Let's shout them out. Belle Rodriguez and Autumn Andrioli, right?
Yep.
Both just all in. Like they
Yeah.
didn't even take them any time to get acclimated to play in varsity. In fact, Autumn came in the end of the game the other night. She did a great job.
Yeah.
You know, that's not easy for a freshman.
Mm-mm.
You know. So who is that shortstop, Kayla, on the JV team? She's a vacuum cleaner. She was gobbling those balls up.
Maddie. Yeah.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
she looked good to me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It looked like she wanted the ball hit to her too. She liked getting the ball hit to her.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question kind of for any and all. Do any of you play other sports?
I did.
Stella did. Kayla did. Nothing current though, right?
Nothing current.
I think you guys are kind of so close to graduation. I mean, Kayla's the only junior here for those at home, but the time that it takes, you know, right? Somebody help me there. How much time does Stella? You're nodding. How much time do you have to dedicate to softball, like year round?
A lot. It's all year. Like it never actually stops. Like I think that's one thing that like people don't really understand is they're like, oh, okay, you play like high school and then you go play like your summer season, but then you have winter off. No, winter we're practicing 4 hours, like one practice. Like it's just constant because the winter is when you're really gonna like build and like get better and build up like your endurance and everything. And then the spring and summer is when you get to kind of like show that off.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I'm doing softball at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours a day. So, yeah.
Okay. So, but you also do find time for a charity.
Yep.
That you're involved in. Okay. I have to mention the charity. If anybody else could top this or match it, I'll give you time to talk about your charity. But I love what Stella does. And we've gotten involved the last 2 years, Lincolnstown Gazette Sports, just a little bit, you know, just to kind of try to support her. But talk about what you do. And since you've been, 12 years old, I think?
Yeah, something like that. It's 12. Yeah, because
Okay, so
this year's the 5th year.
okay, so what do you do? What's your charity?
So I organize and run a sock and blanket drive for the Salvation Army.
Socks and blankets.
Yep.
Two things that if you don't have them, your life's not good, right? Like when it's
Yeah.
cold out, and I kind of think, we did like a little show with you the last 2 years, and after like food, after a couple real essential things in life, you got to stay warm. And I love that charity. And how many socks and blankets do you know roughly how many you've collected? And then you donated to the is it the Salvation Army or the who ends up getting the socks and blankets?
So I give it all to the Salvation Army Harrisburg, and then
okay.
they distribute it out. And I do it in winter. I call it Spread the Warmth. So
Spread the Warmth.
And they distribute it out during their like Christmas time. Like they give out little boxes and stuff to like families in need, and it kind of acts as like Christmas presents and stuff. And they can have the kids come in and like pick what blankets and what socks and stuff they want. And I've helped out with that too. And it's just so awesome just to like see that, like, because the community has given me so much, so I like to just be able to give back. But wonderful. I think like my year to date on my socks, I think it's 3,500 around that pairs of socks, and then I think I was almost at 700 blankets.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. And if anybody at home wants to help Stella, it's not too early in the year. I can make it easy for you. If you want to inbox Linglestown Gazette Sports or my Facebook page, Joe Gilloway, I will make sure that Stella gets them. Are you going to do it again this year? Oh, you're going to be off to school. I will still donate myself. And if anybody else wants to contribute, you tell me where to take the stuff and I will. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been talking to this one lady and her daughter. She's young, which is nice, but they kind of talked about just kind of taking it over, and I would still like kind of be able to be involved with it too, even like whenever I'm just home from winter break and stuff. So
okay, let's hear it for Stella. Good job. Okay, all right. How about let's talk about here's where this is where it gets not quite as fun usually, but let's talk about academics. Okay, because it's important. You guys are student athletes, and when people ask me what I do, I tell them I cover student athletes. I'm going to go back to Annika here. How important have your academics been to you since you've been going to school since you were 6 years old, but let's just say since 9th grade until this point?
Mm-hmm. It's been like probably one of the most important things in my life. Especially for me when I first started my like college recruiting journey, I was looking at higher academic schools. I was actually committed to a high academic school before I was committed to the University of Maine. So for me, it's always been a big focus and like something that's been really important to me. And even for the CV softball program, we always put academics before any sports because you can't play if you don't have good grades. So it's always been important to everyone.
Fabulous answer. And why University of Maine? What made you choose University? Because I know they weren't the only school that wanted you.
Okay, so I was committed to College of the Holy Cross, which is where my coach was at before she moved to the University of Maine. So that's kind of how it got on my radar. And then when I went on my visit, the University of Maine is just a whole different field than any other college. It's the only Division I school in Maine, and they don't have any other professional sports. They put everything into the University of Maine, and to me that was really special. And even when I was just on my visit, I mean, it's like a family. I talked to the athletic director. The athletic director was at all of the games. I mean, that's just not something you get at those other Division I schools. So it was really special to me, and I just fell in love with it really quickly.
Probably very beautiful up there too.
It is, yes.
Sounds cold. Mm-hmm. I bet you it's some rough winters up there. Okay. Well, thank you for that, and best wishes.
Thank you.
Kayla, why Duke? I know why not, right? But it sounds like I'm an NC guy in basketball, but I'll start rooting for Duke in softball. How's that? How'd you choose Duke? I know you two had a lot of choices, a lot of options, and how'd you end up choosing Duke?
So I think back in my freshman year, fall of travel ball, that's when they first came to watch me. And they told my coaches they were interested. And so I started learning more about the program. I went to a few camps, and I went to camps at other schools. So I was still like checking it out. But in this summer, in last March, I think I went to a camp during season, and it was they had their series against UNC, and it was a really like intimate camp. There was only like 30 girls there, and I got to interact with the coaches and like the girls on the team, and it was like something I could definitely see myself being a part of. And then when September 1st came around, they were my first call right at 12 a.m. And I was really excited because they're a great academic school. They're a top 20 team in the country. And it was almost like everything that I wanted. And then, so I took my visit the first September 8th, the weekend right after September 1st. And I just knew that's where I wanted to be. The Coach Young and her whole entire staff, they're amazing. They care about me not only as a player, but as a person. And I know that after college, there's not many opportunities to play softball. So I knew that having a degree from Duke would set me up to have a really successful
Absolutely. It's kind of close to, it's close to Ivy League. You know, that's the level that Duke's on. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I was basically just saying like that getting a degree from there is just one of the best things. And just matched with the whole environment of being in Durham and like the community you have, since it's a pretty small school.
Tobacco Road, it's called. There's a bunch of big time schools down there, all close to one another. Yeah. And just like, I don't know, the feeling of just being down there. We even went to a game. We went to the Duke UNC game at Cameron Indoor in February, and just that environment, it's just like unreal. So like that had to be unreal.
Duke, I love it.
Right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I got to root for Duke now in something. All right. So now we're going to move on to Sydney May. Fordham. First of all, talk about your commitment to your classwork, your classroom work, your academics.
Yeah, I knew pretty much since 8th grade freshman year, I knew I just needed to keep my academics high no matter what, just to show like coaches and for high school also, just to be able to play and show coaches that even when I am playing softball, I'm still a good student in the classroom.
So why Fordham? Look, first of all, for those at home, Fordham's another really, really good school. It's in the Bronx, though. And before we went on the air, you and I were just kind of chatting, and I was like, that is so cool because the Bronx is a great area. You know, it's just so cultural and, you know, multicultural. And you have to kind of like that whole scene to be interested in that. And you do, right?
Yeah, I've pretty much been going to New York since I was like maybe 6, maybe 7. And I just love the atmosphere of New York City and just all the people and the buildings. And when I got to Fordham, I was going to a few camps in the fall and over the winter. And I really just fell in love with the campus. It's gated, so it's like a whole different world. It's not even like you're in the city.
Right.
And talking with Coach Melissa and Coach Kenzie, it's such a fun atmosphere, and they really care about the girls there, and they want to make sure that you have a great time.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. And then Stella, last but certainly not least, Central Connecticut State. This is the fourth of 4 Division I schools that we're talking about here tonight. How did you find out about Central Connecticut State, or how did they find out about you? Talk about that whole process.
So we were at a tournament. Don't know which one. Couldn't tell you.
There's just too many to remember, right?
Yeah. And it was during like the fall, like leading up. Well, I guess it was after September 1st. It was like that fall season. I think we were in New Jersey, and we were playing some game. There was a bunch of coaches just behind the backstop. And after the game was over, my coach at the time came up to me and he was like, "Hey, this school is really interested in you." And originally I was like, "Oh, okay, like I'll reach out," but I wasn't really like thinking much of it. I was like, I've never heard of them before. Like, I don't really know. So I reached out, and then Coach Pat, he invited me up to camp. So me and my mom went up, and it was a really small camp. I think there was like 25, 30 girls there, which it was really nice because I was really able to like talk with like the players and everyone else. And while I was up at the camp, it did kind of seem like the coaches were like kind of like focused on like me and like a couple other girls, and a couple of those other girls actually ended up committing there too.
Good.
But they were like really kind of focused on like 3 of us. And so the camp goes by, everything. I talked to the coaches after, like thanked them, all that. And then I scheduled a call with Coach Pat and Coach Bree. Had a call with them, and I was like, okay, I still just want to like keep my options open. I got offered my first call. I was like, okay, this is great, but again, I'm still keeping my options open. I was like, I definitely wanted to be committed before the spring season came up, but I didn't have like a strict like timeline or anything like that. So I played like the rest of my fall, went on a couple more visits, had a couple more phone calls, and then I went up to Manhattan, and I went up there, had a visit, all that. And I was really lucky. I scheduled my visit with Manhattan and my visit with Central like in the same week. So I was really able to compare it. Like those are my final two
Yeah,
schools.
right.
So I went up to Manhattan, and then later that week I went down to Central, and it was funny because I was really going down there to tell them like, sorry, I'm not coming.
Oh boy.
And I just went back and I was like, no, like I think this is like really where I'm meant to be. I did like an overnight in like the dorms with the girls and everything like that. And I was like, this is definitely like, this is where I want to be. So I got home, and then I like talked to my parents and everything like that. And we were like, yeah, this is like financially and just like quality of life. I was like, this is where I want to spend the next 4 years. It checked all my boxes. So I called Coach Pat and I was like, hey, like, I'm coming, like whether you like it or not, I'm coming.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's like planning on breaking up with your boyfriend and then marrying him.
Yeah, kind of.
If you think about it, I mean, that's wild.
Yep.
So they're very fortunate to have you, to be getting you. That's for sure. I love the way you play. I love your attitude on the field. You play with joy. I love, a lot of energy. And I just think that they're very, very fortunate. So let me ask you real quickly. Let's start with Sydney. What's your GPA?
I think it's like a 3.6 or 3.7.
Kayla?
4.0.
Is it really? Okay. I'm not shocked. I don't want you to think I'm shocked. Annika?
I think like a 3.8.
Oh, Stella?
4.0.
Oh my. And the reason I asked that, again, I always call you guys student athletes because you're students for, look at that. That's like a cumulative like 3.9 between all of you, that's fabulous. So anybody at home who thinks that these girls are just like jocks, I mean, yeah, they're jocks and they're great jocks, but they're student athletes. And you earned, everything that you get because of your academics or because of your athletics. Your academics is helping you earn as well. So let me just ask one more question, then we'll have a little bit of fun here. Annika, 26-year head coach Greg Williams. He's been at the school for 33 years. I like him. I only met him a couple years ago. He just seems like an awesome guy. He's always like very warm and accommodating when we come over there for something. And I mean, he seems like he doesn't take things overly serious. I mean, he's there to win games. Okay. So I don't want anybody to take it wrong, but it seems like he really takes a look at the big picture more than anything else and make sure that his players are all enjoying themselves. And is that true? Is that the way things are over there under Coach Williams?
That's definitely true. Like, I don't think there is another coach who cares as much as he does, honestly.
It just comes across that way.
Yeah, and you can see that in the way that we perform, the way we play, the way he coaches us and stuff like that. But he definitely, like you said, he's there to win, and he knows when to really crack down on us. But at the end of the day, he cares about us as people, and that's what really makes the program so great.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. I don't want anybody to think like, why does Joe think that he's not serious? But I'm just saying he kind of looks like he keeps everything into perspective, and that winning's part of the equation, but there's other things that are real important.
Definitely.
Okay,
yeah.
let's go back to Stella. Since you're a senior, 5th-year head coach Sam Hartley, one of our sponsors, Sam Hartley Decking. What's it like playing for Coach Hartley?
It's fun. I mean, we have fun at practice. We like to mess around, but then
You guys really do.
yeah. We are constantly like singing and dancing and stuff at practice, but like we also get our work done. And we know when it's time, like everyone has fun at practice and everything like that, but we know when it's time to play, like we all need to lock in and like we need to win. And I think that really, kind of like Annika said, it really shows how we play. And it like, you can tell, like we have fun when we're on the field, but we know like we're there, we mean business, like we're here to win.
I know he doesn't like that hip hop music you guys listen to.
No. But
he puts up with it because he knows you guys are the players and he's the coach, right?
His whole thing is when we win a game, we get to play our music, but if we lose, then he plays his music.
Oh boy! So you better win, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so one more question. I'll ask Sydney to answer this. let's just say there's a little girl, 6-8-year-old girl watching this tonight, and there could be. What kind of advice would you give her about how to approach if she thinks, man, I love these girls? Like right now, you Kayla and Stella, you guys had who were they? The young girls there last week.
Yeah,
yeah. Just so you guys know, they think you guys are like professionals. Okay, they don't know, they don't realize that you're just tight. When my sister and I were young, my mom used to take us to local high schools for plays. Fiddler on the Roof, Wizard of Oz. You know how we would run up and get their autographs after the play was over, and they were 15, 17 years old. So these little girls, when they see you, I mean, they're just all inspired. They're enamored. They're excited just to be around you. Sydney, what would you tell a 6 or 8-year-old girl at home right now about how to approach softball if that's what she wants to do?
Honestly, probably just keep dreaming. So and work hard. So if you have that dream, like I know when I was younger, I had the dream of playing and making sure my family and friends could watch me on TV, and I had that dream, and I really just worked towards that. So I think just keep following your dreams and what you're dreaming, and I know people can get there.
And try to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The second the fun goes, it's just not cool anymore, no matter what it is, really. Okay, so now we're going to go. One of our sponsors is Payer Apparel, and they do T-shirt, sports apparel. Kayla, I know you have a T-shirt. We'll get you another one. How's that sound? So we're going to get you all a T-shirt from my friend Larry Bragg at Payer Apparel. Sydney, these are men's size T-shirts. What size do you want?
Medium, please.
All right, you got it. Annika?
Medium too, please.
All right. Stella?
Medium also, thank you.
All right, and Kayla?
Make it 4.
All right, and Kayla, what color did I give you last time so I don't give you the same color?
I think I have green and gray.
Green and gray. So you're going on your third one, right?
That I am.
Make sure you wear them. They're good quality shirts. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I believe you do. So no green and gray, right?
No, any other.
All right. Okay, so now this is another thing Kayla's done. I think, maybe not. Keeping it light. You guys know what keeping it light is? Okay, keeping it light. I'm going to ask you guys some questions that have nothing to do with softball, nothing to do with the great game Monday night, nothing to do with where you're going to college or academics or anything. These are just going to be fun questions to allow the viewers at home, and there are a lot of them, ladies. We have over 300 viewers right now. That's a lot. Okay, yeah, just so you know, that's a lot. So we know like parents and grandparents and siblings and stuff are going to watch. That's a given, but there's a lot of fans out there watching. So, okay, so let's go back up and start with Sydney again. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go with all-time favorite athlete, any sport, any level.
Oh, I always loved Tiare Jennings. That was always, I loved her energy and just watching her play second base. I think she's really fun to watch.
Where did she play?
Oklahoma.
Okay,
So for softball. Yeah.
Is that still like the top school? Has anybody knocked them off yet?
They're getting beat right now by the SEC. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So that was the first time we had her as an answer. Let's move over to Kayla Fletcher. You watch TV?
Here and there.
Any series like Netflix, or do you watch any series?
Yeah.
Series? What do you like? What if you were going to binge? What's something you've binged before? Or don't you do that?
No, I don't do that. I would never do that. I'm just kidding. Okay,
so tell the folks at home what have you binge watched?
What have I binge watched? It's been a long time. I would binge watch during COVID, but I don't have time to do that anymore. But right now I'm watching Dynasty.
The Dynasty from the 80s.
No.
Okay. Okay.
It's like a newer version.
All right. I was gonna say, Kayla, why are you watching Dynasty? Man, that's terrible.
With family, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
But no, I think it came out in 2017, 2018.
Okay.
I don't know.
Not the Dynasty.
No.
The new Dynasty. Okay, let's go to Annika. Annika, favorite meal?
Lasagna.
Lasagna.
I have it every birthday. I just had it last week for our whole softball team dinner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, you can't go. Do you go out for it, or somebody make it for you?
My mom makes it. She made it for all the girls. It was like my mom and my nana. They made like literally 6 like whole batches of lasagna.
And Kayla and Stella, you guys were there?
No, but I've
It
had
was-
Oh,
lasagna.
so you know what
Yeah.
it's like.
I've heard about this lasagna.
You were
Yeah.
just clapping for the lasagna because
Yeah.
you know how good it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Stella, let's see what we have here for you. What do you like to do when you're not playing softball, you're not doing your classwork, you're not collecting blankets and socks? Do you have any like pastimes or hobbies, just something to kind of get away, to escape, to relax?
Yeah, my go-to is I'll put on like a show that I've seen before and then I'll color. Like I'll color for like hours.
That's right. You told me that before.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just so like it like just relieves like all my stress. Because I
And
don't
we're
have to
talking
like think about it. I can just like do it.
right. We're talking about coloring, like kids color, right?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
have like a full drawer full of like coloring
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't think that's unheard of when it comes with adults. I think I've heard that before, but you're one of the few people that ever told me that you're a colorer.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's really cool. That's why we do keeping it light.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go around one more time here. Let's shift gears. Let's do Sydney May, bucket list item. Do you have a bucket list item, something you want to do someday?
My number one bucket list is I want to go to Australia because
All
that's
right.
what I was named after. So,
Sydney, Australia.
yep.
And you would you will have to visit the Sydney Opera House, right? When you go
Yep,
there.
and the Harbor Bridge and all of that.
Wonderful. That's a great bucket list. I bet you'll get there.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Kayla. All right. I don't want to ask you that. You'll hate me forever. No, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. Favorite book? Or a book that you like. Doesn't have to be favorite. One that you read that you're like, man, that was a really good book. I'll recommend that to a friend.
You know what? Oh my gosh, what's it called? Oh my gosh. I read this motivational book by David Goggins. It's really good. Do you know who David Goggins is?
I do not. Well, then again, I thought Dynasty was from the 80s, so you're asking the wrong person.
David Goggins is like a retired Navy SEAL, and he like runs like triathlons. I don't even know, but he does some hardcore stuff. But he teaches you how to be tough mentally, because that's the biggest challenge.
Can't Hurt Me. Is it called Can't Hurt Me?
Yes, it is.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, he's insane, and he teaches you that it's all up here. This is what's stopping you.
Right. Good answer.
Thank
That's
you.
a tough one. See, that's the one question people don't like. Like, why did you ask me that? Okay, let's go to Annika. Question number 2 for Annika. Do you like sweets?
Yes.
Favorite dessert? This is a 2-part question. Favorite dessert?
Like, okay. Probably like brownies and with ice cream.
That I just did a show the other day, and that was the answer. The one girl gave brownies with ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, part 2, favorite candy.
Ooh, Swedish fish.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's. I like those and Reese's peanut butter cups. I
Yeah.
don't think anything eclipses the 2 of those. And Stella, first of all, talk about Taylor Swift.
I have my flag.
Oh, you obviously want people to know. And you know what? I think it's cool that you like Taylor Swift. I think she's great. Okay. I don't know any of the names of her songs. Have you ever been to a concert?
It's a sensitive subject, but no, I have not.
You've got to get to a concert, you know.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you like about Taylor? That's not your keeping it light question. But what do you like about Taylor Swift?
Honestly, I listen to it because of like the lyrics, and okay, this is gonna sound like really weird, but I really like her sad songs. Like I love listening to like sad songs. Like I don't even have to be like sad, but I just like listening to like the lyrics, and I like to try to like decipher them. Like, let me tell you, I have learned like my vocabulary has expanded just from like listening to music, and like I got really into listening to Taylor Swift a couple years ago, and then from there, I think like the last couple years, ever since like COVID, I've just like I always have music on. I'm constantly listening to like someone different. It's insane. But yeah,
she seems like she's cool. She's smart. She's independent. She's fun. Yeah, she's the full package. I think she's very talented too. Okay, so let's get back to keeping it light. One more question. Favorite sports team? Do you have a favorite sports team?
Well, I gotta go with Notre Dame. It's my brother's named after him. Like I'm going up there next week.
Oh gosh, That just broke my heart.
Well,
Notre Dame football, right?
all sports, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yep.
that's a great school, great sports. I'm a Penn State guy, so I kind of, I like Penn State football. So all right, well, I asked you the question. I mean, if it's Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We have to allow that answer, Stella. Okay, all right. So that's keeping it light. Well done, awesome job for everybody. Last thing we're going to do are shout outs. Stella or Sydney, anybody at home that you think might be watching this that you want to thank or say hello to?
My family's definitely, I can hear them. They're watching downstairs right now. So just thanks for keeping up with all of the airplane rides and the car drives and just traveling so much and supporting me through everything.
Good answer. A good shout out. Kayla, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, same thing, my entire family. And then also, I don't know if they're watching, but the two girls I give lessons to, Natalie and Harper, they're amazing, and they're the future of our sport.
Good. Awesome. Annika Shearer, shout out.
Shout out to my whole family. I know my Nana is watching on her iPad right now. Hi, Nana. And
Hi, Nana.
Yep, my whole family. Hey, guys. Thank you.
All right. And Stella Gasper, shout outs.
Yeah, same thing. Family, they've been through it all with me. I mean, they've traveled all over the country. So definitely my family. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing than just dropping your kid off a couple miles down the road for practice, right? You're getting on airplanes and driving halfway across the country. So you got to shout the family out for that. That's for sure. Ladies, thank you so much.
Yeah,
That was
thank you.
fun.
Thank
I had a
you.
great time. I'll get the T-shirts out to you. Once again, Cumberland Valley, Sydney May, Annika Shearer, Central Dolphins, Kayla Fletcher, Stella Gasper, 4 of the top softball players, high school softball players in the state of Pennsylvania. If you're at home watching this and you've never seen these girls play, go out and watch. They play it. Most of the games are at 4:15 on weekdays. Central Dolphin has a game this Saturday, though, at 11 o'clock at home at the high school. Cumberland Valley, when's your next game, Sydney?
We play tomorrow night at 6:30 against Chambersburg. So
At home?
Yep.
Oh, that's the game to go to.
Yeah, go to that.
Yep.
So that's they got some players
Pull
over
up.
there. Yeah, pull up there, right? Okay, good. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank
You're,
you.
you're
Thank
awesome.
you.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm sure I'll see you guys. I'll see you two Saturday, and I'll see the other two, Sydney and Annika, between now and the end of the season for sure. Ladies, appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.